This week on NintenDomain, we're like in the same room again, so that's pretty rad.
It's not a red room, though. Thank God.
Thank God. Welcome to NintenDomain episode 77.
Wow.
Summer of 77.
That's the year that Star Wars came out.
It is. And this week we're doing all Star Wars games.
All Star Wars games and that one Annie Hall game.
What?
Because Annie Hall came out in 77.
Okay, I can imagine how that game would be.
It'd be very apologetic.
What do you, what do you like? Is there like a mini game in there where you like find the lobsters that have escaped in the kitchen? It has to be something like that.
You do, and you're very worried about them.
Yeah. And then you have to kill that spider that's in Annie's room that she calls him about. Anyway, we are your hosts for NintenDomain. I'm Trey. I bought 6 games from a used game store, Johnson.
He did. And I'm Jeremy DLC. Yeah, you know me, Mikowski.
Hey, DLC.
Are you DLC? Yeah.
You're Naughty by Nature? Yeah. And this week we have Queen Latifah on as a guest. Please talk about Naughty by Nature. No.
Hey, what's up? I'm Queen Latifah.
She was on that video, I think. Anyway, yeah, we're here. We're your hosts. We're here to bring you all the fun Nintendo news as normal, except now we're in the same place. So we have all that fun podcast energy that you tune in to hear.
Yeah,
right here.
This is where it all started,
Just
man. The very first
dipping
episode.
right into your ear holes. We are.
The very first episode, we were together in the same room.
Yeah.
Look, notice how we were talking at the same time there. We can interrupt each other actively now, but while we look at each other.
Yeah, now we're like an Altman movie. It'll be great. It's just a whole lot of people talking over each other.
Yeah, like Al Nalda, whatever he was talking about.
Robert Altman, he's the director. Oh. He did a lot of movies like that. So yeah, let's talk about news for a while. So apparently, according to Reddit, there is a Splatoon Direct coming up this Thursday. So that's pretty awesome. Yep. Splatoon 2. What else are they going to show? I mean, they've already shown raids. They've already shown the single player. They've already shown guns. I mean, I don't know. It's a couple weeks away, so it'll probably fit similar to the ARMS Direct, is what I'm thinking.
One thing that'd be cool is if they finally talk about the phone app for chat, because wasn't it supposed to?
Oh, yeah, the phone app. Maybe they'll talk about that crazy interface thing that they have going on and explain what it is and why the fuck we need to use it and how it's much more inconvenient to use than using a phone as itself.
There is speculation that Splatoon 2 is supposed to have its own kind of social network attached to it.
Oh, really?
Something like Miiverse, but it's going to be just within the game itself.
Well, that'll be interesting. We'll definitely, we'll give you the details on that next week for sure. That'll give us a topic for that, so that'll be cool. I'm very much looking forward to Splatoon 2. I can't wait to get it. I'm very excited about it. But let's talk about games that we bought this week. I ended up buying a few of them just out of the blue. Right, actually, while I was here in this house, I bought, was it Magic Drop 2?
Oh, yeah, you did.
As the newest SNK, and I also bought an Ocean Horn, so we can talk about those if you want. Magic Drop 2 is basically kind of like Bust a Move, except you can only shoot upwards. But it's an interesting puzzle game. You can pull. It's like a bunch of balls stuck to the top, like in a Bust a Move or Snood to some of you people who played that version. It's the same thing, but yeah, you walk around and shoot the ball straight up. You can pull down however many are the same colors and shoot the back up, and you get like 3 ball. Like you put 3 of them together, and that's how they disappear. And there's combos and stuff, but it's pretty cool. It's another $8 SNK game, but nice to see a puzzle game on there. Have another puzzle game other than
very Japanese looking.
It is. It's super anime. All the characters look really anime. There's like sort of a story mode on there, and there's a single player mode as well. But it's still arcadey and all that. But it's been fun to play with for right now.
Yeah, I think I want to try it. We should try the 2-player mode later.
Yeah, we'll definitely try it out. Yeah, I've just been playing against a computer, not doing that well, so it might be easier to play against another human being. But yeah, we went to a disc place. We went to Disc Replay, which we've talked about before on this show. We visited there yesterday and went and looked for some used games. Well, actually, we were looking for used controllers because we've been doing some game capture stuff while I'm here. Got a couple videos that we recorded yesterday. Yeah, we went to Disc Replay to find some controllers so we could record some game capture stuff. So we did some 2-player stuff. Please look forward to that. It'll be up on the YouTube soon enough, so you can get a look at that. Hopefully we'll record a couple more videos before I leave. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, so this was an opportunity over the holiday weekend not a weekend, but the holiday to get some extra stuff to talk about. But yeah, we went to Disc Replay, and we didn't mention the main reason we went there was so we could play 2-player games. I don't have...
to pick up an extra controller.
My gaming setup's really kind of 1-player focused. I do have a second SNES controller, but it doesn't work very well. I know the start and select buttons don't really work. I think either the L or the R button doesn't work. So that just wouldn't have been any good at all. And then I ended up having to get the off-brand, or the not Nintendo brand controllers, but so far the Super Nintendo one works okay. I haven't tried the 64 one out yet.
Yeah, we haven't done that, but hopefully we'll get to do a couple 64 playthroughs.
But I did over here. I was someone was selling their PlayStation or something along those lines to one of the clerks, or the Disc Replay was evaluating what they could give them for it. And I guess that takes a little while to do that evaluation, so they'll have the customer leave and come back later, or they'll call them. And after she left, someone was asking about the console, and he said, well, this is cracked on top here, but we can still take it because... And then they said some guy's name, who I assume is either the owner or the regional manager.
Yeah, they said in his mind he'd have this place filled with consoles or something like that, right? Yeah.
His dream is for people to walk in and just see consoles everywhere.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
So he'll take all of them. Yeah, that's the exact opposite of Nintendo. Where they're like, we don't want our consoles to be sitting on shelves, so sorry, you won't be able to get one.
Well, way to go on that guy, and as I've said before, I feel their prices are good, for the most part. They had a Game Boy Light, and I really wanted to buy it because I keep getting really good luck there.
Yeah, Game Boy Light is in the Japanese, the only one that has a light in it. The only one that has a backlit screen.
It's essentially a Game Boy Pocket with a backlight.
Yeah, which I had not heard of. I mistook Game Boy Light for Game Boy Pocket when you said it, because I was thinking about DS Lite. Because I had a Game Boy Pocket and a Game Boy Color and a Game Boy Pocket Color. But I had never seen the Light before. And you almost bought one. There was one for $30.
I almost bought it, but there was a line of what looked like screen damage, and it didn't have any batteries in it. One thing I did notice is because doesn't the Game Boy Pocket take 2 AAAs? I think that was part of what made it smaller, is that it used smaller batteries.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the Light doesn't, because it has to suck more power with the Light, so it uses 2 AAAs, so it's a little bulgier in the back. So it's more like a Game Boy Color in its form factor. But still, I would have bought it if not for the screen looking questionable, and they didn't have a way for me to test it. I guess I could have brought it back, though. If
they didn't have a way for you to test it, as in they didn't have batteries? Is that what they said?
I guess I didn't even think to ask.
Because they had 100 games there that you could have put in there and played.
Yeah.
I mean, there were Game Boy games all over the place. You could have tested it.
If I go back and they still have it, I might ask to test it.
Yeah. Well, you said the screen looked messed up. So
but the price was comparative to what you would find on the low end of eBay, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah. No,
and that's the way most of the things are that I've seen there. The Game Boy AGS 101s I bought there have been less than the internet, so I want that to continue forever. Yeah,
no, I looked at their prices; they seem pretty good. I bought a couple games, nothing really expensive, but I had found out as I was buying, if you bought 5, you get a 6th one for free. So I got that. I got NCAA basketball, which was $3 for free. So yay! But I ended up I picked up Cruising USA and Aladdin and Donkey Kong 94 for Game Boy Original, SimCity.
What was Aladdin for?
Sega Genesis.
Yeah, it's important to note that, because there's always been a little bit of an ongoing debate which one's better, the Super Nintendo or the
That's
Sega.
True, and you have the Super Nintendo one, correct? I never played the Super Nintendo one, but I've played the Genesis one because John Ninner, friend of the show, he had that version, and he swore by that one. And I played it on his Genesis.
So maybe you might get to look forward to a little Aladdin video in the future.
We could do a battle thing where we compare one to the other. But the cool thing about the Genesis one is that Aladdin has a knife, and he can cut people.
He can, and
I think that's why a lot of people liked it, because he had a sword that he could cut people in the Genesis one.
Right, he has a melee attack. He doesn't just throw apples.
Yeah, which he just threw apples in the Super Nintendo one. But I'm sure the Super Nintendo one looked better, just because the graphical capability was better. But yeah, I got that game. I forget what else I got. Oh, yeah, I got NFL Blitz, the midway football game, which is a fun one. Like, that's about the only game I could play aside from Tecmo Bowl as far as football games go. I don't remember else. Oh, yeah, I got SimCity. That was a find. That's a game I really wanted to play. And,
it looks like it's in great shape.
Yeah, I haven't tested it out yet, but hopefully it works.
Here's my cartridge, especially.
Yeah.
There's mine.
Yours looks fine.
But look at the side. It's got a little blemish.
Yeah, it's got a little burn or something on the side.
I've had this game since...
Did you buy it when it came out in 92?
It was one of the first games we got for our Super Nintendo.
It was like a launch game, wasn't it? Or about?
Yeah.
I feel like it came out earlier. I'm
pretty sure it was a launch.
It was a launch game for the Wii and Virtual Console. I remember that. It was one of the very first Virtual Console games, the SimCity.
It's a pretty fantastic game. I think you should try it sometime.
It's one that, I'm going to, now that I have it. It's one that was unfortunately left out of the Super Nintendo Classic, which we've been doing videos about that, so make sure and watch some of those.
NintenDomain Podcast is becoming more of a multimedia kind of thing.
That's the plan. That's my plan.
Articles to come as well.
Yeah.
Well, we do have one so far.
We have one article. I have 2 articles in my brain that I just have to hammer out.
I wrote 2 that I haven't showed you. They're done, though.
Oh, okay, cool. But, yeah, what else do we have in the news aside from the Direct? There's a couple games coming out on Thursday. Is it a Bulb Boy? It's one of them that nobody's really heard of. There's another one coming out called, it's like, it has this ridiculous name. It's a port of a mobile game that's like a hack and slash type game. It didn't look all that great, but it's coming out on Thursday, so that's kind of a nice surprise that came out of nowhere. There were a couple new RPGs that were announced from NIS. Those are the guys who made RPG Maker, so you can look forward to those. They're, what are they? The Longest 5 Minutes, which is supposedly the most unique RPG. It's, that's what it's called, The Longest 5 Minutes. So hopefully it doesn't last 5 minutes. And Penny Punching Princess is the other one. So,
which is basically just a princess that keeps punching Inspector Gadget's niece in the head over and over again.
or the girl from Big Bang Theory, I think would be more interesting if you just punch her over and over again.
Or do you remember way back in the day on Nickelodeon there was the clay?
Oh,
clay animation of her.
No, she was from Pee-wee's Playhouse.
She was. She had actual pennies for eyes.
I liked Penny in Pee-wee's Playhouse. She was great.
Yep.
She'd always shine her. Did they continue that series on from the show?
I think
became its own thing? Because I just remember seeing it on Pee-wee's Playhouse.
It was like a bonus on some other show, but I can't remember what it was. It was a kid show, of course.
Oh. Well, apparently they're also putting Shovel Knight as a playable character into Blaster Master Zero.
And
Shantae. And Shantae, yeah. So there you go. That's those are getting added.
Bomberman was on sale.
Yeah, Bomberman dropped to $30. I don't think we mentioned that last week, but yeah, maybe it's actually worth getting now, right?
Yeah, I'm still on the fence about it, even at 30.
Yeah,
but it's closer to like the level I would hope.
Well, 30's better, you know.
We don't have quite the same drought of games, so I'm not as desperate to buy something new.
Yeah,
as when Bomberman, came out as a launch title.
For sure. The mobile game that's coming out is called Implosion, Never Lose Hope. Looks like some sort of futuristic hack and slash game where you walk around and slash guys. I don't know how you play these games on mobile. Because I've been playing Oceanhorn, and that's like a full-on Zelda clone, pretty much, or inspired by Zelda. But it's like you walk around and you hit people with your sword. Like, how do you do that on a mobile? Do you just tap the screen? I mean, that's not fun.
That's probably it, though. I mean,
nobody wants to do that.
It's either a tap or a swipe. I mean, what else is it?
Yeah, I'm just saying it's not having analog and all that would be really rough.
You pinch and hold.
Yeah, which I've only played a little bit of Oceanhorn. It's kind of like, it reminds me sort of Phantom Hourglass, except minus the dungeon you have to go through multiple times. I haven't seen anything like that. But it's the same sort of thing where you kind of like, instead of like drawing your way to the next island, you just kind of point at the next island and hit A, and then you'll automatically, sail there. But it'll kind of look like Wind Waker, but it's not quite Wind Waker because it's all top down. It's all like the sort of isometric look.
So it looks like a game that looks like Wind Waker.
Pretty much, yeah. It looks like Wind Waker. I haven't really gotten into any like dungeons or anything, but I've killed some enemies, and you do kind of level up on it. So I have had like level up a couple times. But I haven't really played it enough to get a good enough idea about it. It was kind of like an impulse buy. It was only $15, and I was like, I kind of want to play it. Plus, it has Nobuo Uematsu is on the soundtrack, and he's awesome. So the music has been incredible on it so far. So that was part of it. But yeah, I'm just testing it out. It's been a minute since I bought a new Switch game.
How much was it?
I got was ARMS. It was $15.
$15.
So it's not that bad, I don't think. And I got And I got the Magical Drop 2 for $8, so that was like $23. No big deal. And
Man, you went on a game buying frenzy.
Yeah, I do that sometimes. But the games that I bought were all like under $10, so it wasn't that big of a deal. I think everything I got from Disc Replay ended up being like $30. Or no, $40. Ended up being like $40 for the whole thing. So
maybe we should go back there again tomorrow.
I thought about it. There's that Ken Griffey 64 that I didn't get that I wanted to get.
I say we go back there, and I also say we go to Guitar Center just to look at some of the cables and stuff.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we can do that. But was there anything else that I was on the news front here? I know the DLC is out now, the Legend of Zelda stuff, which you have, but we can get into that later when we talk about the games we've been playing. That'll be like our topic for this week.
Sure, man.
So we'll do that. We'll do that after the break. Apparently, there's been a tweet from Platinum showing 2 pictures of Bayonetta. One of them, it's right here. One of them blue and one of them red, like on top of each other. And people are thinking that that's referencing the blue and red Joy-Cons. And that there's going to be some sort of Bayonetta Switch thing. I mean, they did do that if you got the Bayonetta 2. Bayonetta 2's disc was blue and Bayonetta 1's disc was red. So that was like how they kind of differentiated them. And like there were a lot of blue backgrounds in Bayonetta 2 versus 1. So
I think it's pretty fair.
Maybe they're going to do some sort of re-release or something. But Bayonetta 2 was produced by Nintendo, so it's not going to be like a Steam release or anything like that. I don't think.
And Bayonetta 2 is really well received, but on an unpopular platform, just like a lot of the other stuff they're re-releasing. So I definitely would not be surprised if at least two came to the Switch.
Well, people are hoping for a 3 as well, which I don't know what the sales were, like if they sold enough. It didn't seem to be. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's such a small install base for Wii U, especially when the Bayonetta 1 and 2 came out, that maybe they didn't see that many sales. I bought it on the day it came out, and I basically, because I never played Bayonetta 1, I basically played all of Bayonetta 1. And by the time I got to 2, I was kind of tired of it, so I didn't beat 2. I mean, not necessarily tired of it, but I was kind of like, I just played through a whole game. Like, I needed a break for a while, and I kind of took a break and didn't come back to it. That's basically what happened to me. But I'm like somewhere halfway through. I always promise myself that I'll finish it at some point, so I'll have to go back to it. But it does play really well from what I did play, and it was really reviewed well. So they could just add it to the pile of ports, and of other stuff.
Well, for me, like this is one of those examples of a game that, even though I had the Wii U, I would be happy to wait to play it on the Switch. Yeah, I'd wait just a little longer because I haven't played it yet. I did play the demo. There was a free demo. And I played all the way through the first one on the 360, like way back when it first came out.
Oh, okay. I played through all of it on the Wii U. But I did play the demo also. But you didn't buy Bayonetta for Wii U, right?
No, I never did.
Yeah. So
that's why I'm saying I'm like quite happy with this game coming to the Switch, and when I bought like Mario Kart, for instance, and I was jealous of people that had never played it before, I get to be that person someone else is jealous of this time around on the Switch. So that's good. For
sure. Yeah, definitely. Let me ask you something. In Champaign, do you guys ever get you guys get graffiti and stuff, right? Like there's like street art around a lot. Is that a thing here?
There is, but it's mostly relegated to like if it's going to be more artistic.
Is it like more a mural and whatever?
It's more mural, yep.
Okay.
And then like as far as just tags and stuff go, they're usually pretty shitty. I haven't seen a lot of good tags.
Oh, okay. Well, I've always want to mention this on the show, but I keep forgetting it. There's been a big outbreak of Super Mario street art in Chicago. Like I've been seeing it everywhere. Like I've been seeing Mario's face, like sort of like an Obey looking like Andre the Giant type thing, like just Mario's face.
Oh, just like a riff off of that.
Yeah, but I've seen them all over the place. And there's like even on like the Congress Theater, which is right next to my apartment, I've seen like there's like a picture of Peach there. There's like another picture of Yoshi. Like there's been like Nintendo graffiti all over the place. And I haven't looked it up or anything, but I was wondering if that was like a thing.
Like viral marketing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the Congress, I don't know who owns it now.
Well, I mean, it never got reopened, so it's all just like, it's all graffiti on the front of it, pretty much, because the place is not an actual business now.
Man, I saw one of my favorite shows of all time there, not that long ago, actually. It closed within a year or two after I went to the show, which was The Refused when they were on Reunion.
Yeah,
5 years ago.
Yeah, I remember you going there.
And then the next day, I'm trying to remember who played. Oh, Cinderella played the next day.
The 80s pop band?
Yeah.
Nice. I refused to see that show. I'm kidding. I just wanted to use that in there. But yeah, I don't know. It's been popping up all over the city. I don't know where it's who's been putting it up, or I was hoping it was some sort of secret thing for Nintendo.
Does it look like is it like a stencil thing, or or people actually like draw look like
it looks like a stencil
drawing
thing because I've seen like
we did have
copies
stencil
of it.
stuff.
I've seen copies
while.
of it around the city, multiple places.
We used to have a stencil of a penguin that would show up all over the place. That was kind of cool, but that's the last I really remember, and that was several years ago.
I hope that was like the new Nintendo Street Team. It's just people putting Mario on buildings and all that.
Well, Chicago, kind of like New Donk City in a way.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see some graffitis of Polina out there, or Polina.
Looking all Carmen Sandiego-esque.
Yeah. You can get her hat, right? I hope. You can throw it.
I hope so, too.
Yeah. Well, if there's nothing else to say about the news, we can just take a break and then get into the games we've been playing this week.
Yeah, that's it for the news. We mentioned the Direct, which is, I think, the biggest thing.
Yeah, we mentioned the Direct. We'll talk about that next week. It's nice. We'll have a lot of Splatoon stuff to talk about. Hopefully, maybe we'll see some new things aside from Salmon Raid. Yeah, I figured they'd show all they were going to show, but hopefully there'll be more stuff now. Maybe there'll be some new co-op stuff or some other crazy interface, talking, whatever, voice chat stuff.
Yeah, I really hope it's something about about the whatever the social aspect of the game is, because we don't know anything about that yet.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool. Let's take a break.
All right.
We'll be right back. We've been playing some things this week. The Zelda DLC just came out, and we were messing around with it a little bit last night. Have you've played it? I haven't been able to play it all, but you've played it somewhat, right? Do you want to talk?
Yeah, I'll talk about
on what that's been so far.
Well, the one big thing is that it lets you know that it's been added right after you download it, and then as soon as you start your file, either whether it's a new game or your current file, it just gives you a bunch of list of side quests that pop up on the screen all in a row. So yeah, it's kind of awkward because usually you don't get 10 side quests all at once. So it's just the whole screen's occupied by that for about 20 to 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it's my understanding that you have to go find the armor, right? It doesn't automatically give you all the Tingle armor. It doesn't automatically give you Majora's Mask armor. You actually have to go on the map to find it, right?
What it looks like to me so far, and I don't think it's a spoiler alert because you're going to see this really early on, but
yeah,
it sends you to certain stables or towns to find copies of the that gossip rag. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh yeah, the book, the open book that you find that tells you things.
Yeah, and it's they've just put new versions of those, new editions of the Hyrule gossip rag, which I can't remember what it's called. We should
Hyrule Times.
Maybe it is Hyrule Times.
I don't know. That sounds like a good Hyrule Weekly World News. Hyrule Fox News.
Well, it's definitely gossipy. And
yeah. Hyrule Inquirer. Hyrule Sun Times. Hyrule Moon Times. Just all Majora's Mask Moon. Hyrule Weekly. Hyrule Courier. I mean, it can only be so many things. I didn't think there was an actual name for it, but Hyrule Times sounds like something I've heard before.
Well, anyways, needless to say, we'll edit it in later, or we'll say something about it later.
It's the same, the book that you find for the fucking bird dude with his accordion. It's like that.
Yep. It just points you in the right direction to find the stuff. So I've only done one thing, and I want to find that hero medallion. I want to be able to have
which will help you teleport, correct?
Yeah, so I just want to set it up somewhere where I'm going to grind, or set it right by Hyrule Castle and go and just kill a bunch of guardians and keep warping back. The quest tells me to go somewhere, and then I go somewhere else, and I end up next to a shrine I've been to before, and I go down a hole, and all of a sudden I'm just surrounded by guardians. And I wasn't. That's the last I played of it last night, but there was literally
yeah.
I think at least 10 guardians.
There were a
room.
lot. Yeah, I remember you coming in there, and there was 3 or 4 lasers right on your face.
And they're all the stationary ones.
Yeah,
but it's one big open area, and they're all trying to attack me at once.
Well, yeah, they're all shooting you. Yeah, no, I remember watching you. You stood between 3 of them, and you were trying to do the Goron block. And it was just shooting back to some of them, but they were hitting you all 3 at the same time, and it seemed ridiculous.
It was completely crazy, though, because I used to have a ton of meals, fully healing meals saved up. But I used all those because I played through the ending a few times, and I've just from fighting guardians, like going on my guardian quest, I've had to use a lot of my meals. So I didn't have any healing items, and my Mipha's Grace was gone.
Yeah.
And it had not recharged from the last time I saved. So I was in a bad place, but luckily it's right next to a shrine, so I can heal up whenever I open the game again. I'm hoping by the next time we speak on the podcast that I have that medallion.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because I think that's where it was. I saw a bunch of treasure chests all around the place, and I'm hoping it was there.
No, I didn't read directly what the Hyrule Times thing says, but on the subject of like armor and stuff, does it like tell you exactly where it is, or is it kind of like a myth or like a sort of like a riddle? Is it like the stuff in like how there are like riddles in Xenoblade X where it's like where this thing is that thing and you don't know what it is really and you have to look online to find it? Is it like that, or does it actually like point to you where you need to go?
The same thing happens with that bird guy that he sometimes speaks in riddles. I'm not sure. I really only went for the hero medallion first, so that's the only thing I really know about. But I did as I was cycling through the quests, I did notice that they kept mentioning the same, like go to this magazine, the new edition of this magazine in this place.
Yeah.
So I think that just gets you started on the quest and then gives you more information, and then it updates the quest to whatever you need to go do next. And so far it doesn't seem that cryptic, but maybe that's one of the easier puzzles I'm trying to solve.
For sure. Yeah, and we watched the the Hero's Path? What is that thing that we watched? Which is hilarious.
Path, yes.
It basically, you can play it, you can change like how long it plays. This is the thing where it shows the map, shows the line to showing like where you went from another thing to another. But if you play it slow enough, it kind of just like walks, and then it's like, ugh, and then you die, and then it shows you like, ugh, and then you die again, and there's like an X there wherever you died. And it's kind of hilarious to watch, to just see you like die over and over and over again at one thing. And you can play it like super fast too, to like show where all you've been to on that.
But I could totally tell at what point, at least you don't see it in time, but you see like a big like status bar pretty much that you're cycling through, and you can speed it up, slow it down, or stop it and replay it or whatever. But I could see exactly when that fucking first Lionel kept killing me.
A Lionel bastard.
And then I would like leave and come back, and then he'd kill me a few times, and then I'd leave and I'd come back, and he'd kill me a few times. And it's hilarious because it's also nostalgic. Like, I'm already getting nostalgic over this game that I bought in March.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame that you have to pay extra money to see this, like to just kind of like watch yourself relive what you've played. And as long as you haven't played over 200 hours, right, you can like start from the very, very beginning. Like,
well,
when
I
you
thought
very first played the game.
I thought it was 200 hours max, and I've played about 160, but it looked like I wasn't even to the halfway point on the status bar.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it may catalog even more.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I remember that what it said on the Nintendo site. It was saying 200 hours, which I haven't even put 100 in yet on mine. I've only put 96 hours into mine, but I'm almost done. I just need one more memory, and I've already been to the castle, so...
It looks really cool. I've not seen flying enemies yet.
Well, that's something we should talk about too. There was like a whole weird rumor, people saying that they thought that you were going to lose your game if you restarted in the hard mode. But no, you don't. We just did it last night. You just started and you don't lose your game.
Basically,
I think that's where you're going to see the flying enemies.
Well, the title screen,
the hard mode.
that weird static, well, it's not static, but it's like a static image title screen.
Yeah,
like you switched the screen. So you, one of the options while you're in normal mode is to go to hard mode, and then the whole screen changes.
It won't show your saves in hard mode. Like, it won't show your old saves. So that's probably why.
Right, and then while you're on hard mode, that same space on the menu is occupied by go to normal mode. So you're just cycling between those two home screens with completely different like origins. So yeah, that's great. I like that they made it that way.
Oh, for
and
sure.
I did also, just to test it out, started it with another account and went back to my other thing, and nothing had gotten fucked up.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think people just got freaked out about it, but it's not actually what it is. But what I've heard is like it's almost like a New Game Plus, because if you're good enough and you can beat these guys, like, you'll end up with all this great equipment, like, right on the plateau, like, at the very beginning, which is awesome. Like if you can beat the Lionels and all that shit, like, you'll have all these fucking swords and stuff and great arrows, like, before you even leave the plateau, like, before you even get your fucking sailcloth and all that.
So it could potentially make it like a speedrunner's dream.
Yeah, no, I mean, you get all these great stuff like right off the bat, so that makes it sounds like something maybe I want to try out.
Maybe there'd be even quicker speedrun.
It could be, yeah. I mean, if you're good enough at it and you can dodge well enough and you can somehow wear down Lionel without the freeze move, which I've been using for him every time, without the stasis.
It was fun to see on the hero's path the first few times I tried to run up to Hyrule Castle. And, like, you could see me die and die and die. Yeah. Because the Guardians were slaughtering me and I wasn't strong enough. And I hadn't really figured out the shield deflect that well. Which you just have to keep doing it, and that's how you figure that one out.
Yeah, I mean, I still have a hard time doing it. Like
under pressure, I can.
And if you don't do it right, you can lose your shield. Like without even, you can go through multiple shields. Like if you're not doing it correct, So it can be a dangerous thing.
It's pretty risky, but the risk versus reward, it's worth doing.
But it is really cool to get it done when you can actually do it right.
But yeah, so the hero's path, and so far it looks like a lot of content's been added, and. If I get a hold of that Korok mask, I'll be able to start
you can go get those 900 Korok masks. I know there's already like a shrine stalker thing, or finder. Though we just wish there was like a shrine mask. It would just like shake whenever you're next to a shrine.
And then you could set the shrine finder to treasure chests or something like that, and have two things going at once.
Oh, well,
that would be pretty great.
Well, if you had a shrine mask, you could use your shrine tracker or whatever. I don't know. It'd be cool if there was something in there that would help you find shrines, even though I guess like the hero's path is meant to help you in that way.
And I totally see like chunks of the map
to help you go to places that you haven't been to. So you want to explore all these places you've never been to. So it definitely extends more life to the game. So hopefully we'll do some more updates on that as you progress farther through it. And I can't wait to find out your experience with finding the masks and all that. I kind of just want to go through and find all the suits, like get like the Tingle suit and the weird the ghost armor, like the armor from the DS one, and I want to get like the Majora's Mask, and there's lots of cool ones in there that I want to try out. So there's a whole nother hours of the game there, like just added to you just to get the quest to find all that armor. So that'll be fun.
Yep. And supposedly you can't upgrade the armor, which is kind of sad, but
hopefully it'll
still be fun to collect
it when you get it right.
Because I definitely in the main quest, I've been trying to get every single piece of armor I can get my hands on just to have it. And luckily, there's not a limit to that. Those items that are permanent. I like that.
Yeah,
it would really suck if armor was temporary. But there is supposed to be some like
what if armor broke and you had to go back and find it? Like, wouldn't that be awful?
Yeah, I thought there might be another item in the castle, but maybe I'm wrong. I thought there might be another item in the castle that recharges a shield or something.
Oh.
But I haven't found it yet.
Do you have the Hyrule Shield? Did you find that? That's in there, right? Like the official,
I have not
official Hyrulean Shield?
Nope.
Because I've seen people use that. I don't know if it's with the DLC or if you can find it in the original game.
Which makes me wonder if it's like the Master Sword.
Where it recharges. Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's those weapons that you get from the towns that you can rebuild. Because there's like the staff that you get from the Zora domain. There's also like a big sword thing that you get from the Gorons that you can have rebuilt whenever that breaks.
That's right, and I haven't done either of those things.
Yeah, well, you've had them, but
I have, but I've messed up the.
I've actually had because I recently beat the Goron one.
Actually, I think I still do have the Goron,
and I've had the sword rebuilt because it's like a 60 damage something. Like it's a good weapon. It's like 60 or 70. It's
called like
there.
Stone Crusher or something like that.
Yeah,
it's like it's a sword with a hammer on it.
Yeah,
right?
it's like a big rock crusher thing. And I did have that remade. Like you basically take and you can actually find the stuff that you need to remake it in the town. So, because I went over there, he had another one, and you could just get one just down the way. But
can you only have one at a time?
Yeah, you can only have one at a time.
Because it'd be fun to just stock up on 60 weapons.
Well, yeah,
Which you can do. You just have to do it through using the Blood Moon and going back to the major tests of strength ones.
Oh, to get all the Guardian armor?
Yeah.
Or the Guardian weapons?
Guardian weapons. That's how you grind those out.
Yeah, I've just saved those from just going to multiple, or just finding them on the way from different shrines.
I always have good weapons. Like that's just how it works.
Well, once you get to a point, you like weed out the bad ones, and you only carry the. Like I basically carry the really heavy ones, and I only use them if I get in a bit where I'm about to die, or where somebody's tough enough that I need those. But I'll use as just normally walking around, I'll use like a level 30 or something like that, or like a 30 damage.
I'm always using the Master Sword whenever I can.
Oh, I use something small just to that I can just break, and I don't really care about. I'll use that to cut grass.
There was a quest where I had to get a lot of bundles of wood, and I just used the Master Sword. I'm like, fuck it.
You cut all the trees down with the Master Sword?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not gonna go somewhere and grind like a bunch of axes or like figure out what to do with my weapons so I can like have a bunch of axes in my inventory.
Sure.
Nope, I'm just gonna use the Master Sword until it breaks, and like I was still able to get quite a bit of wood that way.
Oh, sure. Oh, you did that for the house, where you had to cut down all the wood, or did you already have it by then?
There's another quest that you end up doing later that's like an amplified version of the house where you have to get a bunch more shit.
Oh yeah, I haven't gotten there yet. But yeah, we'll definitely talk more about the DLC as we play it more. Let's move on. I want to talk about what I've been playing this week because I hadn't really been able to speak on it because I hadn't played this long. But I guess what I said earlier about not spending money on games, I totally lied on that because I did buy Ever Oasis last week because I really enjoyed what I played on the demo and I think the game looks really cool. And I've been playing the crap out of that game. I really like it a lot, and I wanted to talk about it to you.
Yeah, man, I want to know more about this game because up until E3, it was still kind of a mystery what was going on with it, and you own it not even a month later.
I do own it now. I mean, I think I don't know how much time I put into it, but I have played it a lot just because it's really smooth. It looks really pretty. It uses both of the analog sticks. You can use the nub to move around the camera, which is always nice. It's it's basically like a mixture of Zelda meets Animal Crossing, sort of. I would say actually it's more like Zelda meets Harvest Moon because it's kind of more to like tending your town. It's not really. It's sort of about relationships, but you have to do certain stuff in the town. But it's kind of like that great mixture that I really like.
So is it like what were those Harvest Moon games? The Harvest Moon side games that were
Rune Factory.
Yeah, Rune Factory. Is it like that?
I don't know. I didn't play any of those.
Okay, well I didn't either.
Well, I mean, I guess kind of it could be. I mean, basically what happens is you're this kid, you're in like a relative's oasis. He gets attacked by these big monsters like at the beginning of the game. The whole place is about to get destroyed. You're about to die, so he like casts you out to another area. Like he summons some spell that like takes you out of the area, takes you to another place. You land in this big desert area. You find this like water spirit thing, which sort of looks like a mermaid. It's like a lady that has like the fin thing under her, and she helps you create this oasis, which is like your town. And you basically build the oasis, and you'll venture out and try to meet people, and try to like once you meet them, you tell them about your oasis, and they come to it. You basically want them to live there, and once they live there, they'll have this little heart appear above their head, and once they do that, you can start building shops for them. And once they have shops, they'll start selling stuff, but you have to replenish the stuff that they sell in the shops, but you also get paid by whatever they sell. So that's part of it, by like going out into the world and collecting things to sell to the shopkeepers so they can keep selling stuff to people. But there's also like exploring. There's dungeons in there. There's actual like Zelda style dungeons. I think there's only 3 is what I'm hearing, but there's a lot of stuff in between. Because they said you need these this specific 3 collectible things, unless there's 3 and then there's a dark world. I don't know.
Okay,
that's how they do it on Zelda.
This has like there's an end game. It's a linear experience.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you can keep going and like have your stores keep selling stuff, but yeah, it's not like Animal Crossing where it never ends. But basically, all of the way the story works, it all has to do with exploring and finding more people to move to your town and upgrading your town and adding more shops and like finding stuff to sell from the shops and yada yada and all that. So it's very cool though, and you have a 3-person party that you can use when you go out, and you can switch. Basically, everybody who moves in your town pretty much automatically becomes a playable character, so you can switch all of them out. They all do different things. There's different races that do different things, and there's like different stuff in the dungeons that only certain people can do. So you can actually warp back to the oasis whenever you want to and switch your guys out and warp back. So that's pretty cool. There's like a fast travel thing in there, but it's been a lot of fun and I've really been enjoying it. I'm to the point right now where I have to like have a festival in the town. So I have to build up my town before I can have the festival, but it's totally worth it. It's really good. Like it's the Grezzo guy, he has a hit. Like it's reviewed really well. I know IGN gave it an 8.9, which is fairly high.
Well, you've told me that you have a hard time putting it down.
I do have a hard time putting it down. I actually been trying to not play it as much and not to burn myself out on it, but it is very playable and it's easy to fall into. So, yeah. That's what I've been doing with that.
So what you're saying is you would recommend it?
Yeah, I totally recommend that game. I think it's worth playing. It's it's a good game to help you pass the time before Miitopia on the 3DS side, which 3DS still has the best games out there, I think.
Do you think that Miitopia is going to be better than this?
Miitopia is a different game. It's a much different game, but I really enjoyed the demo a lot. and I'm very much looking forward to the full game. But Ever Oasis is a different beast. Ever Oasis is much more of a much more of a real time action RPG like Zelda, but with more town stuff to do. So it's a lot of fun. It's cool. So let's talk about our capture stuff that we've been doing. Didn't you get something recently that would help you out with that?
Well, yeah. I have a good friend that gave me a gift of joy. No, Trey surprised me when he came to visit. He had a CRT, and I've been on the prowl for one for a few months now. Not willing to drop a bunch of money on it. Not willing to beg on the internet for it. I was almost to that point.
Yeah, I don't know where you could get CRT TVs.
Well, I was right. I was almost at the point where I was going to be on Facebook and stuff and Instagram or whatever, being like, "Hey, who has one of these things they wants to sell me?"
Well, what I've found is the best way to get CRT TVs is to talk to family members. So, Jess, my girlfriend Jess, her grandmother had a TV, has a beautiful picture, this Magnavox TV in her basement that she was actually trying to give away to me. Or she was going to give away to me because I had asked about it before because she was trying to get rid of it. And there was actually another one that she had that I tried to take, but it was too big to fit in the car, so I couldn't take it. But since we got a new car, it can fit now. But yeah, the TV, I had been asked her about it. She was going to give it to me, but I had just gotten a TV for my mom. It was the one that I'd been eyeing before. It's like one of the older flat screen ones that has S-Video and all that on there. So I just got it. So I was like, oh, well, I don't need it right now. But then I was thinking oh, well, shit, because we were talking about CRTs, and I was like, well, shit, I should just get it and bring it down here. So that's what I did, and it ended up working out that I came down here, and now we have the TV, and we played some games on it. We did a little bit of a Super Mario Sunshine on there. We played some of that.
Well, you didn't mention the reveal. You made it a nice little surprise because you showed up to my house and you brought all your you brought your bag in and stuff. And then I was like, "You need help with anything?" And you're like, "Yeah, actually, I need help with one more thing." And then I went out to your car and you said, "All right, open the door." And I thought that you were just going to show me your new car, you couldn't open the door without the remote. So
yeah,
I was just tapping around trying to find a handle. And then when I finally figured out how to open it, I saw the TV, and my first thought was, "Oh, you brought your retro station. I mean, that's cool." But I didn't really mean you had to actually bring your whole retro station.
Yeah, that'd be funny if I brought my whole TV down here. I'm too lazy to do that. I wouldn't take my TV out of the setup and take it down here. But no, here it is. We're staring at it right now, actually.
But shit, dude. Thank you. And I have it all, and we got it all hooked up to where I can capture the image through the computer, but I can also send an equally vibrant image to the CRT, and it looks fantastic. And some of the games we've played on it, I mean, man, especially just Super Nintendo, I think just looks fantastic.
Yeah, NBA Jam, Super Double Dragon, spoilers. Those are ones that we're going to put
those
up.
games had,
but they look great.
Aesthetics to them that just don't work. I mean, yeah, they can be upgraded, but then they have to simulate scan lines or something along those lines.
Yeah, now you have actual scan lines. You have real scan lines. You don't have to bend the image. The image is already bent.
Yep.
You don't have to do that curving and all that you see in the new arcade games. I was kind of freaked out about the TV because I remember the last time we tried to play on this TV at Jess's brother's wedding, or no, not her brother's wedding, her cousin's wedding. We were trying to play Mario Party on it. And I think we plugged it into the VCR because we were playing the Wii U. We were plugging the Wii U into the VCR through the AV, so I had to have a different cable for that. And we couldn't get it to work. And you basically had to only plug one in, and it ended up being black and white. There was no color. So it was a whole thing about it. And I was thinking about that on the way here. I was like, oh shit, I hope that's not an actual thing. But turns out it isn't. It looks fine.
I wouldn't be surprised if they had the VCR going into the TV through the coax cable.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, I don't know how they had it set up.
Which even means the coax cable could have been messed up.
Yeah, whatever it was. Or maybe it was just a weird cable. Because I don't know. It might have been a cable that just doesn't work that well on the Wii U or whatever. But it just, we ended up getting working, but it was only in black and white. So I was afraid that was going to happen. But no, it's in super vibrant color. Looks great. Super super scan lined and curved and all that. So
we got a kind of a pretty comfortable setup, I would say. We can probably improve it a little bit, but the way the TV's set up in the room...
Aside from the heat in here.
Aside from the heat and the mic cable cords.
Yeah. I bought it. My cable is too short, but that's fine. They don't need to hear that.
Insider knowledge.
Yeah.
But it looks really good, and it's nice that it's off and away from the whole desk. It's its own thing.
But but to our listeners, if you have any family members that have CRT TVs, just ask them for them. Like, most of the time, they're trying to get rid of them. Like, one of Jess's friends from the theater, like, we went to his house to play D&D one time, and he had an old CRT, and Jess was like, hey, if you ever want to get rid of that TV, let Trey know. And he's like, wait, you want that TV? And I'm like, yeah, no, I want that TV. And it just blew his mind because he never thought of anybody actually wanting that old TV that he has, so he wants to get rid of and get a better one, So that's not really in people's minds, I don't think, that have CRTs, that didn't like go out to find one. I think they're just trying to get rid of them. They'll probably end up just throwing them out. So if you know of anybody who have them, just be like, hey, I'll take it. Like when we were at the MGC at the Midwest Gaming thing, there was people like selling them there. There was actually a booth for CRT TVs. So it's becoming a whole thing. So, talk to your family members who still have them.
I have half a mind to
buy them a new
open this baby up and blow it out with some like canned air or something, just to take some care of it, because it probably hasn't had any TLC in its life.
I don't know if it's been dusted or anything like that. I'm sure it hasn't.
It says that it was made in '94, so
but I mean, CRTs are built like bricks. Like, they'll last for a long time as long as you don't drop them. They'll be fine. They'll probably outlast most of us. But yeah, it's got a beautiful picture. It'll be a lot of fun to play stuff on it. So hopefully you get to see some stuff in the future. And what do you think? Do you want to call this for right now? We might actually come back and do a post thing of Splatoon 2. Turns out that it's going to happen while I'm still here, so we might come back and do an additional part to this episode. So
yeah, that sounds good. I mean, we can keep this one short and sweet and do multiple episodes or whatever, because we've got more content that we're going to be capturing in the meantime.
We'll just leave it. We'll just this will be the mystery. You'll find out, like, it's a mystery to us, but in like the next 30 seconds, you'll either find out whether this episode ends or if it continues for another half hour and we talk about Splatoon 2. So we'll leave that up to you. So this is either Trey and Jeremy signing off or Trey and Jeremy going to the next part. But regardless, you should still go to NintenDomainPodcast.com and watch our videos and read our articles and stuff like that whenever they get posted. And, rate the podcast. We like you listeners. Let us know how you feel. Like, rate us on iTunes. And feel free to email us. Let us know how you feel about the show. And, if you hate our thoughts on games and all that, let us know. We like to hear any sort of contact and all that. But
anything. Hate mail is most certainly welcome.
It's the greatest way of communication. Anyway, we've been your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
And I'm Jeremy McCaskey.
And we're out.
See ya.
Or we'll be back. Who knows? So here we are from the future, or the present now. We just watched the Splatoon Direct. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I already wanted the game, so I think you said that when we were watching the video that...
Yeah, it's not going to make us want it less. I mean, it'll make us want it more. But it's cool that there's a Splatfest that you can play for 4 hours coming up in like a week or two.
Yeah.
Like a week from this Saturday, I think.
A week from Saturday, yeah. What'd you say, 5 to 9 our time?
Yeah, it was, what was it, 3 to 7? 3 to 7 Pacific, so that's 5 to 9 our time. Hopefully I'll get to play some of it. I might be able to play like that last hour, but I'm sure you'll be at work or you might,
I'm not going to be able to do it, unfortunately.
It's cool that it's a longer thing. I wish it was like an all-day thing, but that's what we get. But they showed off a lot of new weapons, little bit about the online mode. There's a new app that's going to happen, a Nintendo Switch app.
Yeah, the app they've been talking about that goes through the smartphone for voice chat.
Yeah, and they didn't really notice, or they didn't mention that pass-through thing that we've seen on the Japanese one that showed it. The thing that you plug it in from your phone and then plug it to your headset. Maybe they decided to like not do that, or maybe they're just going to mention it at a later date.
Maybe they were not wanting the hate online today for it.
Well, it is kind of a ridiculous thing to do. And, a lot of people are going to want to play this on their TV and not only be able to voice chat in handheld mode, so it seems kind of silly. But, yeah, hopefully, I mean, they haven't really got into, like, what all you can do to voice chat through your phone, but I'm hoping you can just use a Bluetooth headset. If
Me
you have
too.
one, just use whatever you can to work with your phone would be great.
That would be fantastic.
Because I have a Bluetooth headset and I would actually use it. Maybe I never even like for PS3 or PS4. I never really used the voice chat because I don't need to hear kids, shouting racial slurs at me or whatever. I don't need to hear that
Or
stuff.
telling you the things they're going to do to your mom.
Yeah. or telling me to meet them on the steps and realize your death and all that fun stuff. I don't need to hear all that. But maybe, there's if we could find some kids, some friends from like Reddit or the NBC group or something like that you could talk to, that could be fun.
Yeah, IRL.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting. They mentioned there's going to be this app. Do you think they haven't? They didn't mention it because it's not an ARMS Direct, but I'm wondering if ARMS is going to work with that as well. Like if there's going to be some sort of additional thing for like ARMS Online because that one's already out.
I'd imagine they'll roll out support for the app like over time. I don't know if it'll work with everything at once.
Well, it should because ARMS or like Mario Kart also. It should work for ARMS and Mario Kart Deluxe.
That would be amazing, but I just don't see it happening simultaneously.
Those are big online games right now.
I think it's. I picture it being like updates that will be added to the games to add support. I'm just guessing, but that's
those games are already out. So they could have they could always have like a Nintendo Switch Direct or something, or a Switch app Direct where they talk about it.
Yeah, maybe they want to devote an entire Direct to just the voice chat. Who knows?
Well, I could see them doing that. I could see them doing like a 10-minute direct about that app that they're releasing on the phone. That could be something we see in the future. Who knows? This one just kind of came out of nowhere, and we didn't know about it.
It didn't. I couldn't tell if it was all one app that you were using to check the like your Splatoon stats.
Splatnet.
And stuff. Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was all one app or if they're two separate things. Like
that's a good
companion app and a voice app.
Yeah, I wondered about that because there could be the Splatnet app, and then there could be the Nintendo Switch app. But it should all be in one thing. But you're right. It might be two. Like it might be like the one that you just look at the stats and the Splatnet app that just showed you like what your opponents used, like what their outfits were and all that, and you can look at like the details of like how much ink you inked or whatever.
Yeah,
like
did you cover up Pyramid?
Yeah. And that's actually taken from a Wii Fit because you could do that like with the Wii U Fit. You had a little tracker that you could wear that would keep track of like how many miles you walked, and it would be like, oh hey, you walked like up the whatever, you like walked through the Grand Canyon, you like walked up the Empire State Building. Like that's all from a Wii U Fit. I'm glad that it made it into another game.
Like up the stairs of the Empire State Building or up the side of it?
I think it's like this is the distance of the tallness, and don't quote me on that. I don't know if that's directly in there, but they do that where they're like, oh, you walked enough to be this much, or
give you some more appreciation for King Kong.
They they like they just compare like how much you've walked to like famous places to walk and all that stuff, and you can unlock like free I Love New York shirts, but but this isn't about Wii U Fit, but you could do that on there. So what did they show for the weapons? They showed that the bucket's returning, which is cool. That was a fun one. There's a smaller version of the roller.
Yeah.
I didn't see the paintbrush on there. The giant paintbrush. That was one
either.
that was DLC later, and maybe they're getting rid of that.
Maybe it's a balance issue.
Yeah.
It looked like there was a variation of all the main weapons. Like there was a different version. Like even the Splat Dualies, which are new, there was like another like faster version of them.
Yeah, I really like the umbrella weapon. I don't remember what it was called, but there's one where you can kind of like create your own cover, and you can even keep the umbrella out when you go into the ink. Like that was really cool.
Yep, and then it has to recharge though when you do that.
Yeah, but still, it's a neat thing to have. They went over like the basics of the regular ones, like showed the roller, showed the sniper, kind of explained how it was, and for all the people who didn't play the Wii U version.
Yeah, for everyone who wasn't able to play it, but it looks different, but it's just incrementally different. Like this isn't an entirely new experience. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun.
But it's all new. They have new superpowers, which I call them. Like when you use the regular weapon, you have a gauge that builds up, and once it gets to a certain point, you can use a big attack, and all that's new. You have like the fire from above one, where you shoot into the sky and it comes down. There's the jetpack, which looks really cool.
You can see through walls with one of the things.
Oh yeah, there's a new gun that shoots through walls.
Yep.
It's like that fucking gun from Perfect Dark. I don't remember what it was called, but the one that would like you could shoot through the walls and it would automatically target whoever was wherever they were. Like I remember playing
one
that.
hit kill.
and people didn't remember how to, or didn't know how to use it, and all you have to do is just hit aim and just hit trigger. Like people would try to, because you try to aim on your own, it'd always be hard to find it.
Yeah, so hopefully there's not someone who just camps and snipes everyone, but it doesn't look like it's a one-hit kill, and it looks like it's a limited range sort of thing. So,
well, speaking of camping and sniping, that was a new addition that they added to the sniper, where now you can charge your weapon and go into the ink and keep it charged.
Yep.
So you can kind of like ninja it out. You can like go
pop and snipe.
You can go under. You can like charge it, go into the ink, and just wait for somebody to come out, and then boom, just come out and snipe them. So there's a whole nother way to camp. Also, there's a thing where you can thermal tag people to where you can see them through walls, which is cool. Like you'll shoot them, and then you'll see their white. It'll be like a white silhouette of their body. Like no matter where they're at, you'll be able to see them like in walls, and even when they go into ink. So. Some good addition there for that.
Yeah, man, I don't know. That would kind of piss me off if someone could see me through a wall in the game, but you know what? It's only with that
I think it's a limited.
Weapon.
I think it's a limited thing, though. I mean, it's not like something you'll see at all time, but it's a cool like extra item. You know, it looks like they're making it real competitive this time around. Looks like there's lots of options. They got into the salmon run a little bit more, like showed some of the really weird looking creatures for that.
All the garbage beasts.
Yeah, they're all kind of made out of like plastic containers and like other recyclable stuff. Like they look pretty cool. And they're talking about how you can.
It's kind of like if all the objects in Pikmin were attacking you that you found. That's what it kind of made me think of.
Oh yeah,
the stuff that's just laying around.
Like the Game Boy. Hopefully, there's like a Game Boy in there. I guess that you could find that in Pikmin.
A Game Boy salmon.
Like an old one, yeah. But yeah, they were talking about how you could unlock items and stuff like that. They mentioned that you can use the old amiibo for it, which hopefully they all work the same, because I don't know if I necessarily want to buy more Splatoon amiibo.
I think they do.
Use the same one.
It said they all worked. And so you can store all your info onto the amiibo, all your settings for your character and your outfits and all that.
Yeah, it made it really cool. If you want to go to a buddy's house and play Splatoon, you just bring your amiibo and then just pop it on and you have your settings. Even though, you know, with the nature of the Switch, you could just bring your Switch too.
Right. But because
it's not
just
like,
in case you just want to carry a little figure with you instead.
Yeah, but there's still no split screen on it. So it's like, it's weird. Like if you go to somebody's house and then like tap it, then it has your stuff, but you won't be able to like play together or anything like that.
That's
unless
true.
you bring your Switch and your copy of Splatoon. I was hoping that there was going to be some sort of like download play for this or any of these games, you know, where you can play like, there's a mode you can play and not have the game. Like, surprised they haven't like implemented that.
Maybe they will.
I mean, the Game Boy Advance had that way back when on Mario Kart.
Back in 2001.
Yeah, so that was a long time. That was a long time ago. So I don't know. Hopefully they'll add that at some point. But yeah, I'm still excited for it. They showed a little bit more of the single player stuff. Still looks really cool.
Yeah.
They kind of alluded that Mari's upset about something. So Callie's still nowhere to be seen. So maybe she's been abducted by that DJ monster from the original one.
Or maybe she turned evil.
Well, yeah, maybe she's. Who knows? There's a new couple of girls that are the ones who are going to announce the modes now. Was it Pearl and Marina?
Yeah, they're the group is called Off the Hook. They're like
they have a.
It's basically a DJ and a singer. It looks like.
Yeah, they have zippers that are bigger than their outfits, or some of them.
Yeah, they're like it's like a combination of a zipper and a medallion. The way they're wearing it.
Yeah, I hope that becomes a fashion in Japan. Is the giant zippers. That are almost the size of your T-shirt.
I just want a giant, medallion zipper at the top of my jacket.
So So they're going to be the ones who tell you like what's going on in the ranked mode. They're still going to do the same thing where like whatever type of game you're playing like changes. It changes every 2 hours now instead of every 4 hours. So that's good. And so there's the Rainmaker is in there where you do the capture the flag, grab the weapon. You can shoot other people and you carry it from one side to another. The tower game is there where you stand on the tower and like protect it like as it moves through from one side to another.
Was that in the original?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was added later through DLC, but yeah, it was in there. What in the turf and the one where you like have like one square that you have to protect. These are all in ranked mode of the first game. So there's nothing new there. They're just saying that they're going to be there. They didn't mention how high your level had to be for you to get to rank mode. Like in the original one, you kind of have to unlock it. It's the same way. It was the same with ARMS. Like you have to play through the single player on level 4 difficulty or higher in order to get into ranked online matches. And in the original Splatoon, I think you had to level up to like level 10 or something like that. I don't remember the exact level, but you had to get to a certain level before you could start doing ranked matches. because they didn't want. I don't know. I guess they just didn't want beginners on there. And all
I guess
that.
when we went back and looked, we might be able to tell because it was pairing people with levels, and you could see like what levels they are.
Oh yeah, sure. If we got into the detail of it, there's a lot of new shop people in there. I know Sheldon made a return. That shrimp, which makes me incredibly hungry. The the
Krusty Man.
Yeah, what is his name? Krusty, something like that.
Something crusty.
But yeah, he's a shrimp that's been fried and still alive, and he has this little tiny feed and all that. It looks like he's running like a food truck or something like that. Like he was somewhere because he was in the party when they go to the club and the girls are singing and all that.
He's got a food truck outside of the venue.
There's the spider crab person.
Yep.
That's
sells shoes.
Sells shoes. There was who's the girl that had the weird like helmet thing, the helmet head thing.
She's the one they call their crazy aunt.
Yeah.
She's got a shrimp on her head.
Yeah, she looked interesting. She had like a little those little.
But yeah, I don't remember her name.
I don't remember what she was selling. Probably T-shirts and such. Sheldon still sells the weapons, and you can skip through all of his talking now. I didn't, that really didn't bother me in the original one. But now
I know that was hilarious. Yeah, that you can skip him talking. Like that was a new feature that they were happy to reveal today.
Yeah. Well, they didn't mention it, but in the original version, like you have to be like different weapons have different level settings. So like you have to like get to a certain level to buy some weapons.
Okay.
They didn't say anything about that, but they did show the practice area where you can try them out before you buy them and all that, which is
try before you buy.
Oh yeah, and there's some Miiverse kind of stuff on there. You can draw pictures like you could in the original one. And they'll show up in the levels that you play, I guess, in the multiplayer.
So our theory,
you can Twitter,
possibly,
and you can tweet and all that.
Possibly there would be like a new social media thing that's kind of true, although it looks super limited. You're mainly just drawing images like you would have done on the Wii U gamepad, and then it pops up as graffiti.
Yeah, well, that's basically
in the levels.
Yeah. Well, in the original version, there's like that hub mode that you go to, and there's all these guys standing around, people that play the game, and there would be a thought bubble like above their head, and it would show whatever the Miiverse post was. And I thought that was the best use of Miiverse. I even drew a picture of a squid with like with ink around its mouth, and it says like "I live, I die, I live again." Like I made a Mad Max squid because of that, and that inspired me to do that because I never really drew anything on Miiverse, but I did it for Splatoon because everybody else was doing it.
The Mad Max squid for the Miiverse. Yeah, and it looks like you can share stuff through other social media. So Nintendo's sticking to that whole thing that they were saying, like where they just want to hijack the social media that already exists.
For sure, and it looks on the Nintendo Switch app that you can use like your people, your friends on Facebook and all that you can try to find them through that. I saw that. There's like a thing you can click on where you can search like all your social networks.
So that's kind of cool
to try to find people who have Switches. So
maybe through the NVC group we'll be able to find people on Facebook.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're gonna have 3 theme nights and all that, like where you can play Splatoon. So that should be on there. I saw the weird homeless looking guys on there, which I don't know if he's homeless, but he looks like one of those crusty punk dudes that you see in Chicago that hang out and beg for money all the time. It's the dude with the giant hair. He was in there for a second. In the original one, you could order stuff from him. You could like order specific items or something. I don't know what he would do. He also had that weird mushroom shell thing in the first one. They didn't really get into what he was going to do, but you kind of saw him in the background. But yeah, there's the Splat Dualies is the only one that you can dodge with. It's the only time that you can like roll from one side to another is with that weapon. So that's interesting. I thought that was just a new power that you could do for everything.
There was something about it where you could like jump off of a ledge and then do like a side roll.
Oh yeah. You can jump. Well, you can also. They showed a lot of people hiding in walls, like inking the wall and like jumping onto the wall and hiding on the wall. That's an interesting trick that I didn't even really know about, but I guess you can do that now.
Yep. So what was that ball that you wrote in, like a hamster ball?
Oh yeah, the hamster ball. I forgot about that. Yeah, there's a hamster ball thing now where you can like roll over other people's ink and not get hurt. So it's a good way to like sneak up on somebody who's camping or something like that and get to them and take them out.
And it looked like you could roll up the side of walls with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It looks like it's stuck to whatever. Like, you didn't have to ink it. Like, you didn't have to, like, squid into the wall and all that to climb the wall. You can just do it with the ball. So that's a cool thing. There was like a weird cloud thing that you can shoot at people. There's like a void looking thing, like I think it's like one of the secondary weapons. Like, that's on there. Yeah. It's, they showed some of the levels that they have. There's like a venue. There's like a gym. What else was on there?
Oh, the big, like, they had like a rock climbing wall and stuff. Yeah, there
was
was a racetrack of some form.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there are all these different things that you could use for it. And they said they're going to roll out DLC for a year, like free DLC for a year.
And then 2 years of Splatfest.
Yeah, and 2 years of Splatfest. So, so like 2019, you were saying that'll probably be, or 2020 will probably be when Splatoon 3 comes around then, right?
Yeah. Just in time for them to stop supporting the previous version.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, they rolled out free DLC for the original one. Like, it felt like it was every week or every 2 weeks, and it kept me playing. Like, it kept me playing the multiplayer. So, and I don't really play online multiplayer at all, but that was the game I played the most multiplayer on because I kept like popping in to use the new weapons. I saw that the NES Zapper is still in there, which is cool. I'm glad they kept that. The minigun is in there, like the big Terminator 2 style thing. You can use that. You know, you still have to charge it, but it's yeah. And there's like a shotgun type thing on there as well, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Another one that shoots like big blobs and explodes, you know, at a certain distance. So yeah, there's lots of really cool weapons that I can't wait to mess around with.
Yeah, I can't wait to play the one-player mode and try to get good.
Yeah, one-player mode will be a lot of fun. Yeah, I can't wait to see like what the bosses are, and hopefully there's some sort of story there. Like I said, with Mary and Callie is probably gone, and you have to find her, something like that. So there's some mystery.
Maybe that's the quest
on
of the one-player mode.
For sure. Well, the other one, it was just kind of you against the whatever they're called, the Octolings, and there wasn't really much of a story. It just kind of like talked about the lore about where the squids came from and all that, and it was post-apocalyptic too. It was like the world had ended and all that existed were these squid people, so everyone else had before that had died. So it was a little dark if you like actually read into the lore of the first one. But yeah, I can't wait to play it. Seems like a really cool game. Like yeah, the reason that I bought the first one originally was just to like we were talking about ARMS, is just to hop online when like nobody's played it. And I was like, maybe I'll be okay. Maybe I'll be able to win some stuff if I hop on there, you know, right when I get it. And hopefully we can do that for this. Is there anything else you want to say about the Splatoon Direct?
No, not really. I think we've covered most bases.
We covered it for the most part. I'm sure when I'm editing this later, it's going to be like, man, why didn't I say that? Or I'm going to forget about something. I feel like there was some extra weapons in there that we might have forgot. I mean, there's like that shorter roller, but I think we mentioned that. And the umbrella, and yeah. Anyway, I mean, you know, we'll get into it more when it comes out, but I can't wait to play it. It's coming out, like, what is it, like 3 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now, something like that?
21st.
So, yeah, I'm really, really excited about it. It's right around the corner. And, yeah, that's our impressions of the Direct. And, you know, thanks for listening to the NintenDomain Podcast. This has been episode 77. Once again, you can find us on NintenDomainPodcast.com. You know, if you like the show, please give us a rating on iTunes. It'll really help people to see the show easier. And we've been your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
And I'm Jeremy Mikowski.
And we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa.